difficult time. Change can be very difficult and challenging because we are so locked into the way our minds and our patterns have been formulated over the years. And to try something new and different, to be somebody new and different, is difficult to imagine what that might look like, difficult to let go of what's familiar if it's painful or it creates struggle for you. And so the opportunity for most of us right now, because we are struggling on an emotional level with some deep segments that are causing us some pain, but are still keeping us locked into an old identity, an old way of doing things. It takes a lot of courage to be able to deal with the emotions that are coming up with that, the emotions like loss and grief, recognizing that expectations are not going to be met, recognizing that your life isn't the way you want it to be. But if you take the courage to go through those emotions and you give yourself some space to be able to really hear and understand what's going on for you, particularly when it comes to that inner child who's struggling because they've been lost or hidden or forgotten or unseen and unheard. When you bring forth that insight, what happens is you then have a moment of reconciliation and a moment of choice. And in that choice, I want you to recognize that it's not just one doorway that we have a choice to walk through, that same doorway we're so familiar with. But ultimately, if we look around, there are 5, 6, even 7 choices that are available that we could be walking through. So one exercise to do is when you get to that space to recognize this is a transitional space, and it's actually a gift because walk through some of the doors, to open some of the doors, to close some of the doors that for surely you don't want to walk through. When you open a new door, it's going to feel uncomfortable. It's going to feel unfamiliar. It's going to feel very challenging. But at the same time, it's going to feel exciting because you're starting to see things in a new way. You're starting to open up to new ideas and new possibilities. For me personally, what I've been dealing with is going through a major transition of letting go of what I thought was important and what I thought was meaningful, and leaving a corporate world and kind of semi-retiring has left me in a place of not really sure what my purpose or where I'm to go, how I'm to be useful, how my life will extend outward. So I imagined it to be very different than what it is. And now that I'm looking at it more clearly, some of those expectations were just from old societal beliefs and patterns, things that don't even suit me anymore. So I'm recognizing that I have to establish what I feel is important to me. It gives me a chance to be able to shut off what the world is saying to me and what they're predetermining what retirement would look like. And as much as there are some things in my life that I have to face that I'm not happy with in the situation that I'm in, I'm also recognizing that I have way more empowerment than I ever have. How to allow myself to believe in myself to the point where I can allow full abundance and prosperity so I can fulfill the dreams that were limited based on the limitations in my old structure. So, because the only thing I need to do is accept the reality that my life is in my hands now, completely in my hands. And nobody's determining what time I have to be to work. Nobody's determining what I need to accomplish. Nobody's telling me what I should believe and what I shouldn't believe in. This is all on me now. So part of the opportunity for transition having that sovereignty with the choices that I'm making, knowing everything is within my hands. And so it's just a matter now of turning my intentions towards the right direction, allowing myself, first of all, to open the door to having more imagination and more dreamscape so that I can really welcome in and explore further what my soul is really yearning for. In these years as well, it is about a soul's journey through the heart. It's about what your soul's wanting to experience on this life before we leave. It's about how we can contribute and create a legacy of our life at these final years, and how we can go into life appreciating and seeing the world through new eyes. Almost like a rebirth is what needs to happen, in my case, anyways. Because having a rebirth is like a renewal and seeing things that are right in front of me that I haven't seen for a while. And to be able to look at life and see the magic back in it and appreciate the flowers that are blooming here in spring. And I'm awakening within myself the ability to look at life differently by taking, again, those corporate glasses off, those to-do glasses, those gray glasses that have been dulling my life for quite a long time, and to put on those new rose-colored glasses to fall in love with life again, fall in love with the possibilities. I have freedom of expression, freedom of movement, freedom of time. I'm being reminded that if we can go through life with a sense of compassion as well, to be compassionate of ourselves when we are going through these troubling times, when we are hard on ourselves, when we are living through the idea of expectations, that compassion is needed, just like we would do with a and so if you are going through transition at this time, if you are facing challenging, if you feel like you've been crying for days, you can see I'm getting emotional because that's been happening, then I want you to have a little hope. I want you to realize that this is intentional. This is part of your life's journey right now. This is your soul helping you to let go of the old ways of life and the old ways of living. And it's inviting you to explore and to walk through a new door. Now, it's as unpredictable as life has ever been, but when you're navigating through that, when you're making the choice, when you are taking full responsibility, then there is so much joy in that and so much liberation, because you are finally expressing who you really are. And that is, I think, the greatest gift in this transition, is that to figure out what it is that I really love. So if this is happening for you, and you're in transition and you're feeling alone, I want you to know that you're not alone. And I want you to know that there is an end to this. And I want you to understand that this is an opportunity for you to get to know yourself more, for you to honor yourself more, for you to be able to find those times, moments, and places where you can empower yourself. Really, it's kind of taking the reins and saying, you deserve it, you're worthy of it, you love yourself for it, and you're ready to go forward. So I hope this is helpful for some, and I wish you well on your journey. And remember that love is, and that your love is the magic in your life.